back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and I post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love recipe videos like this one and you want to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you how to make my delicious chili and potato nachos. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious chili and potato nachos. Now we love a chili in this house, especially during winter. It's one of those warming foods that helps to heat you up from the inside out. But occasionally I get a little bit bored of eating it with rice or quinoa. So one day I decided to make some nachos from potatoes, and the recipe worked really well. And I thought that we could have this for dinner tomorrow night. So I'm preparing this in advance. But yes, we're having this for dinner tomorrow. So while I was preparing it and cooking it, I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my delicious chili and potato nachos. To make the base of the chili, I'm going to be cooking it in the slow cooker, and for this I'm going to be using a red onion that I have peeled, sliced and diced. I also have 2 cloves of garlic that I've peeled and roughly chopped. And then I have 1 carrot that I've peeled and grated with a vegetable grater, and 1 courgette that I've peeled and grated with a vegetable grater. And the reason I use a vegetable grater is so that my husband and son don't know it's in there. Shh. And then I have some butternut squash that I simply removed the skin and then cubed. I just used the top end of a butternut squash, so I'd say it's probably about 200 grams of butternut squash. If you want exact measurements, I'd say just use about 200 grams. Or if you don't like butternut squash at all, you don't have to put it in there. So I've done that, and now I'm going to add my beans in. So in here I have some cannellini beans and some black beans that I have cooked yesterday. So basically I use dried beans nowadays. I think in the original recipe I said to use tinned, but if you want to use dried then you can, and you just cook them as per the packet instructions. I normally find that the packet says about 10 minutes, but I normally find it takes a lot longer than 10 minutes. And I also like to add a little bit of baking powder to the beans as well, because that tends to soften them and cook them quicker. So I'm just going to add those in. And then I thought I had a spoon, but I don't think I do. So I'm just going to go and grab a spoon, grab myself a spoon, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my spices into the chili. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon of ground cumin seeds, and then I've also got a teaspoon of ground coriander as well to go in. And then I'm going to add in a teaspoon of ground ginger to that. I love the smell of ginger, especially in the winter. So good for you. And then I'm also going to add in a teaspoon of mild chili powder. You can use medium or you can use hot. I am serving this to an 8-year-old, nearly 9. Or 9 in about 6 months, but yeah. He doesn't mind spice, but he doesn't like it too hot. So we're still trying to get him used to spice, basically. And then I'm also going to add in half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon as well. And then I'm going to add in some dried oregano or oregano, depending on which country you're in. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon of that. And then I'm going to add in some salt and pepper. So salt and pepper to your taste. I'm just going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a little bit of pepper as well. So let me just grab my pepper. And then once I've done that, I'm going to mix these ingredients round, and I'm going to add in my tomatoes after that. Now in the original recipe I said to use vegetable stock as well, but unfortunately I don't have any vegetable stock. Also you could use chicken stock, but I don't have any chicken stock. If you wanted to, just to make it taste a bit meatier. If you're serving this to someone who loves meat, then you can always say there's chicken stock in it. So yes, you could use vegetable stock or chicken stock. As I said, I don't have either of those today. So I'm just going to use a bit of water. As this has so much flavour to it. I don't think it's going to matter too much about the vegetable stock or the chicken stock. So I'm just going to add those in. And I added a tin full of water, which I think is about 400 mils. So I'm just going to stir those ingredients again. And I've also forgotten my bay leaves. So I'm just going to grab a couple of bay leaves as well. And I'm going to put those in if I don't get the stalk. That's it, 1, 2. So I've just added a couple of bay leaves in. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to place this on the side, and I will turn it on in the morning and let it cook away all day. And hopefully by the evening we will have a delicious chilli with some nice potato nachos as well, which I'm going to cook tomorrow. It's the next day now, so I'm going to turn the slow cooker on, and I'm going to turn it on to high for 4 hours, but if you wanted to cook it slower you could turn it on to low for 8 hours. My chilli has been cooking away now for a good 3 hours, so now what I'm going to do is cook the potato nachos. So I'm going to preheat the oven to about 200 degrees. While the oven is preheating, I'm going to prepare my potatoes. So here I have probably about 350 grams, 400 grams of sliced potato. In the original recipe I said to use 800 grams. As it's only Ted, Howard and I eating this meal tonight, I decided to use 400 grams because there's only 3 of us obviously. Ted will eat quite a lot of potato as well, so that's why I've done so much. And what I'm going to do, what I've done already actually, is I've peeled and then just sliced the potato very thinly, like so, and I'm going to put these into my mixing bowl, and I'm going to add in some oil, but as always I've forgotten my spoon, so I'm just going to go and get a spoon. Got my spoon, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil to the potatoes like so, and then I'm going to sprinkle in some ground garlic granules. So I'm going to sprinkle in about 1 teaspoon of garlic granules like so, and then I'm also going to sprinkle over some dried mixed herbs as well, so about a teaspoon of dried mixed herbs as well. And then all I'm going to do is just mix these together, and I think I'm going to use my hand for this. My hands are clean, I did wash them before I started this recipe. So yes, I'm just going to mix these together until the mixed herbs and the garlic and the oil all cover the potato slices. So that's that done, and now I'm going to go and grab my baking trays. Got my baking trays from the oven, so when I preheated the oven I also put my baking trays in. Now these are Pampered Chef, well this one is a Pampered Chef one, and this is one I got from Amazon, and these are stoneware, and what stoneware does, it absorbs the badness from the food and leaves the goodness. So these are great for cooking things like pizzas on, they're also great for making roast vegetables and also potato slices as well. So yes, unfortunately Pampered Chef is no longer in the UK, but I'm sure you can find them online if you try hard enough, and I think they are still in America, so if you're watching from the States I think you can still get Pampered Chef items. Yes, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lay my potato slices onto my stoneware like so, and I'm going to try and make sure that they don't overlap. Now if you're not using stoneware like me, which you're probably not, but if you're not using it, then obviously you can grease your baking tray and put greaseproof paper down if you want to. I'm not greasing these because they don't need greasing, and also the potatoes have olive oil on them as well. But the decision is yours. If your baking trays get a bit sticky, even with food with olive oil in, then I would recommend that you put olive oil on them. So yes, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to continue to keep putting the potato slices onto the baking tray and trying not to let them cover one another. So I have managed to get the potato slices onto 1.5 of my baking tray, so I'm really pleased. I'm going to pop these into the oven now for about a good 30 minutes, I'd say, or until they go a golden brown colour. I will be checking them after 25, so if you've got like a supersonic oven that cooks things really quickly, then I'd check them after 25. And also, if you're putting them on baking trays, you may want to flip them over halfway through. As I said, Pampered Chef stoneware, or stoneware in general, generally tends to cook things quite evenly, so I don't think I'll need to turn these over. The potatoes have been in the oven for a good 30 minutes now, and they're looking a lovely golden brown colour, so I'm going to take these out and serve them up with the chilli. So I've served myself some of the chilli, and then I've put some nachos around the outside, and I'm just going to try a little bit of the chilli with the nacho. Obviously the nachos won't be as crispy or as crunchy as corn nachos, but trust me, they are still as delicious, I promise you. I'm just going to try them. Oh, that's good. That's really nice. Yes, so I'm off to have this for my dinner now. That's how you make my delicious chilli and potato nachos, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm off to have this for my dinner now. It smelled and tasted so good, I can't wait to finish the rest. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye!